Chosen one, do not scroll past this moment, because this is not just another message, and this is not just another video that found you by accident. God is speaking directly to you right now, and what He is revealing is too urgent, too sacred, and too powerful for you to ignore. There is a house with your name already written over it in the Spirit, a place prepared not only for your comfort, but for your peace, your healing, your restoration, and your next assignment. This is not a random move. This is not wishful thinking. This is divine placement. God says June will not pass without movement. June will not leave you where it found you. June is the month when what has been forming in silence begins to step into view. You have felt something shifting. You have felt the restlessness. You have felt the deep pull in your spirit, like something is about to break open. Like something long delayed is finally about to move. That feeling was not false. That feeling was not confusion. That was the hand of God preparing you to recognize what He has already prepared. Chosen one, this house is not just walls and windows. It is a sign that your season is changing. It is proof that God has not forgotten your prayers, not forgotten your tears, not forgotten the nights you stayed quiet while your heart was asking heaven for relief. He heard every word. He saw every wound, and now He is answering in a way that will leave no doubt that His timing is perfect. Stay with me, because what comes next will confirm even more. And you need to hear every part of this with your spirit wide open. But first, if you receive this word, comment right now, 777. I receive my house in June. Type it with faith. Declare it boldly. And if this message is already speaking to your spirit, make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, and share this with someone who needs confirmation that God is still moving, still opening doors, and still placing His chosen ones exactly where they are meant to be. God is not showing you this promise casually. He is sounding an alarm over your life because the hour of transition is no longer distant. And what is coming in June carries more weight than you realize. Before we go further, stop here for just a moment. If your spirit is confirming what you just heard, if something in you already recognized this word before your mind could explain it, 444 is the sign of divine protection, of foundation being laid, of God building something over your life this June that cannot be shaken and cannot be moved. Type it now. Let heaven see your agreement. This is not merely about changing locations. This is not only about stepping into a different house. This is about heaven moving you out of one season and establishing you in another with authority, precision, and finality. There are moments in life when God comforts, and there are moments when God repositions. This is a repositioning. This is the kind of shift that breaks old cycles, silences old grief, and closes the mouth of every lie that tried to convince you that you would always live under pressure, instability, and delay. Hear this clearly. The move that is coming is connected to your peace, but it is also connected to your calling. The place God is leading you into is not random. It has been marked because your next level requires a different environment. Your spirit has known that something could not remain the same. That heaviness you have felt, that pressure in your chest, that sense that your current season has become too tight for who you are becoming, none of that has been meaningless. God has been letting you feel the strain, because He wanted you to stop settling in a place that was only meant to be temporary. You were never called to stay where your soul was being drained. You were never set apart by God to live beneath the level of peace He had already written into your future. For I know the plans I have for you, says the Lord, plans for peace and not for evil, to give you a future and a hope. Jeremiah 29:11. That verse is not decorative in this moment. It is the stamp of God over this word. What is about to happen in June is part of that plan, not a vague hope, not a fragile possibility. A plan, a real plan, a heaven-ordained plan. And this is why the matter is serious. If you keep treating this season like nothing is changing, you may fail to recognize the holy urgency of what God is doing. This is your moment to pay attention. This is your moment to stop dismissing the signs. Stop shrinking your expectations. Stop talking yourself out of what God is making ready. The enemy would love for you to stay numb, distracted, hesitant, and spiritually asleep right before the door opens. But God is waking you up. He is telling you that this next move will not be small. It will expose how faithfully He has been working behind the scenes while you thought nothing was moving. It will reveal that delay was never denial. It will prove that what looked silent was still sacred. And when this door opens, it will not only change your address, it will confront your fear, challenge your unbelief, and force you to admit that God was telling the truth all along. So, let me ask you this. Have you felt that deep warning in your spirit that something major is closer than it has ever been? Because that is not emotion alone. That is God preparing you to walk into what He has already decided will be yours. Lately, something inside you has not been able to rest. And that is because God has been pressing on your spirit with urgency. This is deeper than emotion, than mood, deeper than a passing desire for change. What you have been feeling is the strain of a season that can no longer contain where God is taking you. The discomfort has been real. The weariness has been real. The strange ache in your spirit. The sense that your current space no longer fits the person God is shaping you to become. That has been real too. And you need to understand the seriousness of this moment. When God begins to disturb what once felt normal, it is because He is preparing to break you out of what has become too small, too heavy, too dry for your calling. That restlessness was not an accident. It was mercy. It was God refusing to let you grow comfortable in a place that was never meant to be permanent. You may have noticed it in quiet ways. The sudden urge to clear things out. The feeling that you cannot keep carrying the same weight. The way your heart pauses when you see certain homes, certain rooms, certain images that stir something you cannot explain. The dreams that feel vivid, the pull toward order, toward release, toward readiness. None of this has been random. God has been preparing you before the door appears, because when the moment comes, He does not want you confused. He wants you ready. He wants your spirit alert. He wants your faith awake. And here is what makes this even more intense. The pressure you have felt was never only about where you are living now. It was also about what has been living on you. Old sorrow, old instability. God is not merely moving you toward another house in June. He is moving you out of a condition that has tried to define you for too long. This is why your soul has felt so stirred. Heaven has been making room. God has been loosening your grip on what cannot go with you. He has been teaching your heart to stop calling survival peace. So, if you have felt unusually sensitive, unusually tired of the old, unusually aware that something must change soon, do not dismiss it. That weight is the signal. That stirring is the warning. Something holy is getting closer, and your spirit knows it before your eyes can see it. There is a place already carrying your peace before you ever step across its threshold. And God is not speaking about it in symbols alone. He is speaking about a real house, a real covering, a real place where your spirit will finally stop bracing for impact and begin to breathe again. This is why the matter is so weighty. The home that is being prepared for you is not just about shelter. It is about recovery. It is about restoration. It is about God bringing you into an atmosphere that does not fight your healing, but protects it. Some places drain you the moment you enter them. Some seasons press on your chest until even rest feels like labor. But the house God is leading you toward in June carries a different sound, a different stillness, a different kind of mercy. The air there will not feel heavy with old battles. The rooms will not echo with the same strain you have been carrying. There will be a holy calm in that place, the kind that makes your shoulders drop, your breathing soften, and your heart realize before your mind does that something has shifted for good. Someone is still holding their breath through all of this, still carrying the weight of a door that has not opened yet, still standing in the strain of a season that has felt too long, too heavy, too silent. What you are feeling right now, that stillness in your chest, that quiet ache that rose while you were listening, that is not anxiety. That is your spirit, recognizing that release is closer than your fear has told you. Covering does not begin with arrival. And if it has reached you, if this word has been the one that found you at the right moment, then what you do next is not a transaction. It is a declaration. Through the link in the description or the pinned comment, you can sow a seed into this mission. Not a donation to a channel, not payment for content. A seed planted into the ground of someone else's breakthrough. The person who will hear this word at 2 a.m. when nothing else is speaking to their situation. You can give the price of a coffee, a one-time gift, or become part of the inner circle that keeps this mission moving every single month. Every level is an act of faith, not an act of charity. Luke 6:38 says, "Give, and it shall be given unto you. Good measure, pressed down, shaken together, running over." That promise was not spoken for another season. It is alive right now over your life. As you release your seed, bring with you the door you have been knocking on the longest, the one that has not opened yet, not a list, just the one. The thing you think about most when the room gets quiet. Place that prayer inside your seed, not a general prayer. The kind you mean when you are honest in the quiet. The door you have knocked on more times than you want to admit. The stability you have asked for without knowing how to describe it. The safety you stopped letting yourself want because wanting it hurt too much. The fear underneath all of it, that you might wait this long and still not arrive. Stop holding your hands closed, gripping, waiting, calculating, and let what God has prepared have room to land. Your house is not as far away as the waiting has made it feel. This is not fantasy. This is divine preparation, Jesus said. "In my Father's house are many mansions. I go to prepare a place for you." John 14:2. And while that verse reaches beyond this life, it also reveals something about the heart of God. He is a God who prepares places. He does not send his people forward empty-handed. He does not call them into a new chapter without making provision for where their peace will grow. That is why this house matters so much. It is not random square footage. It is not a lucky opening. It is not a last-minute arrangement. It is a prepared place carrying the evidence of God's foresight. Even now, details are being aligned that you cannot yet see. A door, a key, a conversation, a listing, a release, a timing, all of it is being positioned with precision. And when you arrive there, what will overwhelm you first may not be excitement, but relief, deep relief, the kind that almost breaks you into tears because after so much pressure, you will feel what safety feels like again. The walls will not just surround you. They will witness that God can still establish peace around a life that has known warfare. And the first night you stand in that house, whether in silence or trembling gratitude, something in you will whisper that God did not forget a single prayer. He was preparing a place where your heart could stop surviving and start living. What is coming to you has not been assembled in public. It has been arranged in secret under the authority of God, through people who do not even realize they are carrying pieces of your next chapter in their hands. That is why you cannot measure this season by what you currently see. Heaven has been moving behind the curtain. While you were wondering why certain doors closed, why certain plans stalled, why certain places no longer felt right, God was already setting in order the people, the timing, the details, and the exact pathway that would lead you to the house prepared for you in June. This is more serious than you think. Because when God begins to orchestrate a move like this, every delay becomes meaningful. Every interruption becomes directional. And every ending becomes part of a holy rearrangement. Someone may be cleaning that place right now. Someone may be repairing something small, posting a listing, releasing a key, making a decision, or stepping away from a property they were never meant to keep. And they may think it is only an ordinary moment. But heaven knows better. God knows that what looks ordinary to them is directly connected to your answered prayer. Right now, type 1111 in the comments. 1111 is the number of divine alignment, the signal that heaven is orchestrating every detail you cannot see into a moment you will not be able to deny. If you believe God is aligning the person, the timing, the key, and the door for your move this June, type it now. You are not watching this by chance. Declare your alignment before it is visible. This is why you must not mock the process by calling it a coincidence. It is not coincidence when God goes ahead of you. It is not coincidence when the wrong door shut at the same time the right one is being prepared. It is not a coincidence that confusion increases right before clarity appears. It is not coincidence that what once fit you suddenly feels unbearable. That is not life becoming unstable. That is God making it impossible for you to stay where He never intended you to remain. The seriousness of this hour is that you are standing closer than ever to a divinely arranged shift. And if you stay spiritually asleep, you may overlook the fingerprints of God all over it. He has been redirecting conversations, aligning schedules, shifting decisions, and ordering steps that seem unrelated now, but will soon connect with shocking precision. You are not being moved by luck, you are being placed by the hand of God. And when this house comes into view, it will not simply feel available. It will feel appointed. It will carry that unmistakable weight of divine permission, as if peace itself has been waiting behind the door for your arrival. So do not despise the hidden season. Do not curse the slow season. Do not assume that silence means absence. God has been working in silence because some blessings are too sacred to be built in noise. Before we continue, there is someone in your life standing at the edge of giving up on the very thing this message is speaking about. They have gone quiet about it. They have not told anyone how close they are to losing faith in what God promised them. When you share this message, you are not just sharing a video. You are sending the voice of God ahead of a door that is about to open for them. Share this right now with someone who needs to be reminded that God is still moving, still aligning, still keeping His word. When you bless someone else's faith, heaven adds to yours. Tell me in the comments. Have you seen doors close lately only to feel deep down that God was redirecting you somewhere better? June will not arrive quietly for you, because before the door opens, God will begin to make the signs impossible to ignore. What has been subtle will become unmistakable. What has been hidden in fragments will begin to gather into one clear message. And this is why you must stay spiritually alert now. Because the confirmations that are coming are not small. They are not accidental details you should brush aside. They are signals from the hand of God, and they are arriving to prepare your heart for the moment your eyes finally see what heaven has already declared. You may begin to notice patterns that stir something deep inside you, a certain kind of house, a certain street, a picture that stops you in your tracks, a number that repeats, a conversation that seems ordinary on the surface, but lands on your spirit with unusual weight. These things will not come to entertain you. They will come to awaken you. God knows how to make a promise stand before you in ways your spirit cannot deny. There will be moments when you pause and feel that strange stillness in your chest, that sudden awareness that something is getting closer, something sacred, something appointed. Do not talk yourself out of that moment. Do not call it imagination. Do not dismiss what God is making plain, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, though it tarry. Wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. Habakkuk 2-3. This is not just a beautiful verse for encouragement. It is a warning to remain watchful. God is saying that what He spoke over your life has an appointed time, and June carries that time more heavily than you know. The signs are not the promise itself, but they are the mercy of God going before the promise, preparing your faith so that when the door opens, you will not freeze in fear or shrink back in unbelief. You will recognize the moment. You will know the sound of it. You will feel the peace of it. That is why this matters so much. God is not only preparing a house, He is preparing your discernment. He is training your spirit to recognize what belongs to you. And when the confirmations begin to appear with greater force, remember this: they are not meant to confuse you, they are meant to anchor you. What God is bringing in June will not need striving to prove itself. It will carry the weight of holy clarity, and your heart will know that the season of waiting is no longer stretching ahead of you. It is collapsing into fulfillment. What broke you was not wasted. What exhausted you was not meaningless. What made you cry in silence? What made you question? What made you sit through nights that felt longer than they should have been? None of it escaped the eyes of God. And this is where the message becomes even more serious. Because the pain you thought was only loss was also preparation. The season that felt like it was crushing you was also clearing space. God was not absent in your breaking. He was making room. He was cutting away what could not go where you are about to go. He was loosening your attachment to places, people, patterns, and expectations that would have kept you bound to a version of your life He never intended to preserve. You called it delay. Heaven called it preparation. You called it confusion. God called it separation. You called it another closed door. But the Lord was protecting your future by refusing to let you settle in what was too small for your calling. This is why the sorrow felt so deep. It was not just disappointment. It was a transition with tears on it. It was the pain of outgrowing one season before the next one had fully appeared. It was the ache of being pulled out of what was familiar before you could yet touch what was promised. And that kind of pain can make a person feel forgotten. It can make you wonder whether God has gone silent, whether the prayers mattered, whether the promises still stand. But hear this now, with all the strength you have left: God was never late. He was never uncertain. He was never considering your future. He was preparing it with terrifying precision while you were trying to survive the pressure of the present. Behold, I will do a new thing. Now it shall spring forth. Shall you not know it? Isaiah 43-19. That is not gentle decoration in this moment. That is the verdict of heaven over everything you have endured. God is doing a new thing. And the reason the old season became unbearable is that it was expiring. The grief was real, but it was not final. The rejection was painful, but it was not permanent. Your inheritance is a place where your soul can breathe without fear, and your heart can rest without expecting the next blow. Someone is carrying the exact weight this message just named: the exhaustion of a season that outlasted their strength, the grief of broken plans, the silence of prayers they stopped speaking out loud because saying them again felt like too much risk. That person is not you, but they are watching something just like this right now. Or they will be if this message finds them. Through the link in the description or the pinned comment, you can sow into the mission that makes that possible. A coffee, a one-time gift, a monthly partnership as part of this inner circle. Whatever level, the seed is the same declaration that someone's breakthrough matters enough to fight for. Even a stranger's, even someone you will never meet. That is not charity, that is legacy. Your seed does not only open doors for you, it carries oil for your destiny, fire for your calling, and safety for the family line that comes after you. Give, and it shall be given unto you. Good measure, pressed down, shaken together, running over. Luke 6:38. That promise is not theoretical. It is the mechanics of a kingdom where generosity is the currency of faith. When you release what is in your hand, you are not losing ground. You are declaring that you trust what is coming more than you fear what you are holding. Plant that declaration today, and as you do, bring with you the specific thing you are trusting God to turn around. Not a list. Just the one thing, the thing you think about most. Plant it alongside your seed and watch heaven move on both. This is why June matters so much. It is not only the month of movement, it is the month that answers the pain of what came before it. The house God is leading you into is not merely a blessing added to your life. It is a response, a holy response, a visible answer to invisible battles, a declaration that what tried to wear you down will not have the final word. One day you will stand inside that place and understand why some things had to fall apart. You will see why certain people had to leave, why certain plans had to fail, why certain doors had to close with such force. You will finally understand that God was not taking from you without purpose. He was making room for what carries your healing. So, do not dishonor your pain by thinking it produced nothing. It produced space. It produced surrender. And now, after all the breaking, after all the waiting, after all the nights when you had nothing but prayer, heaven is about to show you that the road of sorrow was still leading somewhere sacred. June is not just another page on the calendar. It is not an ordinary month drifting by, like the ones before it. June is the doorway. June is the threshold. June is the appointed moment when what God has been preparing in silence begins to stand before you in visible form. This is why you cannot treat this word lightly. The wait on June is not an emotional exaggeration. It is spiritual timing. It is the kind of timing that makes everything suddenly connect. Everything suddenly makes sense. Everything suddenly reveal why the waiting had to be so long, and why the pressure had to become so intense. God is not merely bringing you into a different location. He is bringing you into a different condition, a different atmosphere, a different level of peace, a different rhythm of life. June is the month where what has felt closed begins to open. It is the month where what has felt delayed begins to move. It is the month where what has lived in prayer, in tears, in quiet expectation, begins to take on walls, windows, doors, and keys. Do you understand how serious this is? God is attaching your transition to a specific time because He wants you to know this is not random. This is appointed. This is measured. This is governed by His hand. There is a reason your spirit has been feeling the nearness of something major. There is a reason ordinary things have not satisfied you. There is a reason the old place has felt tighter, heavier, and less sustainable. It is because June is not coming to comfort the old version of your life. It is coming to usher you into the next one. This is the month that will confront your fear and expose your doubt. Because once God begins to move with this kind of clarity, you will have to decide whether you truly believe He meant what He said. The door will not open for a spectator mindset. It opens for faith. It opens for readiness. It opens for the person who can say, even while trembling, that God has gone before me, and I will not shrink back. So, write it in the comments and declare it with boldness. June is my appointed month. Say it before you see it. Say it before it fully unfolds. Say it because your spirit already knows that something holy is about to break through. And when it does, you will remember that God warned you first, prepared you first, and then brought you into the very thing He promised. When you see the house, something inside you will know before your mind can fully explain it. That moment will not feel like ordinary interest. It will not feel like casual curiosity. It will not feel like you are simply looking at another property, another image, another possibility. It will feel deeper than that. It will feel like recognition. It will feel like your spirit has reached a place your eyes are only just discovering. And this is why the matter is so serious. Because the house God is prepared for, you will not only meet a practical need, it will answer something that has been crying out inside you for far too long. You may see it in a picture. You may come across it unexpectedly in a conversation, a massage, a listing, or a passing moment you almost would have ignored. But when it comes into view, there will be a pause inside you, a stillness, a holy weight. Something will settle in your chest. And even if you do not have every detail yet, even if the full path is not visible at once, your heart will begin to say what your mouth has not yet found the courage to speak. This is it. This is why God has been keeping you alert. This is why He has been stirring your discernment. Because when the appointed place appears, He does not want fear to talk you out of what peace is confirming. The enemy will always try to make you second guess what God makes clear. He will tell you it is too sudden, too unlikely, too good, too fragile, too far, too much. But the Lord is warning you now so that when the moment comes, you will not mistake peace for uncertainty just because it feels unfamiliar. Some people are so used to struggle that when peace finally stands in front of them, they do not trust it. Some people have lived under pressure so long that when God opens a gentle door, they hesitate because it does not look like the warfare they are used to. But what is for you in June will not need chaos to announce itself. It will carry calm. And when you finally stand before it, whether in person or in that first confirming glimpse, you may feel tears rise before you even understand why. Not because the journey was easy, but because after all the pressure, all the waiting, all the stretching, you will be standing in front of a visible sign that God was telling the truth all along. The house will not just look right, it will feel right. The air around it will feel different. Your thoughts will quiet down. Your shoulders will loosen. Your spirit will stop fighting and start listening. That is how you will know. Not by noise, not by confusion, not by panic, by peace, deep peace. The kind that does not have to shout because it carries the authority of God. And when that recognition comes, do not run from it. Do not shrink back from it. Receive it, because the place your spirit will recognize is the place heaven has already marked for your arrival. This move is not small, and God is not speaking about it as if it were a minor improvement to your life. This is your reset. This is your release. This is your proof that the hand of God can still break through long seasons of pressure and place you exactly where His peace has been waiting for you. The house coming in June is not simply a blessing you will admire from a distance. It is a declaration. It is heaven's answer to everything that tried to wear you down, silence your faith, and convince you that nothing was changing. But God has been changing everything in silence. He has been moving pieces you could not see, shifting timelines you could not control, and protecting a place you could not yet reach. Now, the hour is getting too close for you to keep thinking small, too close for you to keep speaking in fear. God is telling you to prepare your heart, because what is about to happen will confront the old story you have been living under. The old story said you would remain stuck. The old story said the delay would define you. The old story said the exhaustion would become your normal. But God is ending that story. He is not bringing you into June to repeat cycles. He is bringing you into June to break them. This house is your sign that stability is replacing strain, that covering is replacing exposure, that peace is replacing the warfare that has followed you for too long. And when the door opens, you will not be able to deny what God has done. The evidence will be too visible. The mercy will be too tangible. The timing will be too exact. You will look back and realize that even in the silence, God was never passive. Even in the waiting, He was never absent. Even in the pain, He was never careless with your life. He was building an answer strong enough to silence every doubt that rose against His promise. Before the prayer that closes this message, I want to speak to something specific. There is a person right here who received this word deeply. whose spirit confirmed it, whose chest tightened at the right moments, whose tears came before they gave permission, and there is something in them right now asking, "What do I do with this?" Here is the answer. Let go, not of your faith, not of your expectation, but of whatever your hands are still holding closed. The seed you have been calculating, the gift you have been waiting to feel ready for, the act of obedience you have been postponing until the door was already open, but the door does not open first. The seed releases first. The letting go comes before the landing. Through the link in the description or the pinned comment, sow into this mission today, a coffee, a one-time offering, a place in the inner circle. This is not a transaction. This is an act of spiritual obedience that tells heaven, your hands are open and your faith is real. Obedience does not begin with arrival. It begins with release. Stop holding your hands closed, calculating, postponing, waiting for certainty, and let what God put in your hands become the seed that opens what He has already prepared. Carry into this seed the most specific thing you need God to move on, not general specific. The house, the door, the timing, the key. Specific faith receives specific answers. Your June is not as far as the silence has made it feel. So, hear this final declaration with faith. You are not being led into another fragile season. You are being led into divine placement. You are not walking toward confusion. You are walking toward confirmation. You are not moving into a house by chance. You are stepping into a place God has already touched with His intention, His order, and His peace. Let this settle in your spirit now. If this message just landed on your spirit, if something shifted while these words were being spoken over you, do not let this moment pass without marking it. Type in the comments right now, "My breakthrough is here. My house is ready. My season has changed." Seal what God just confirmed in you. Heavenly Father, in the name of Jesus, I lift up the one listening to this message right now. You see them fully. You see the battles they never explained, the tears they wiped away in silence, the pressure they carried without applause, and the questions they held deep in their heart when they did not understand what you were doing. But Lord, you have never lost sight of them for even a moment. You have never abandoned them in the waiting. You have never been confused about their future. And right now, I ask you to let your presence rest heavily upon them as confirmation that this word did not reach them by accident. Let peace begin to fill every place where fear has been speaking. Let light enter every space where uncertainty has tried to settle. Let faith rise where weariness has been trying to take over. Father, if this house in June is the place you have appointed for them, then go before them with power. Make every crooked path straight. Open every right door and shut every wrong one with finality. Remove delay, remove interference. Remove every hidden obstacle, every spirit of confusion, every attack of discouragement, and every voice that has tried to make them doubt what you have spoken. Let no fear sabotage what you have ordained. Let no past wound talk them out of present obedience. Let no disappointment from an old season blind them to the new thing you are doing now. Your word says, "For I know the plans I have for you," says the Lord, "plans for peace and not for evil, to give you a future and a hope." Jeremiah 29:11. So Father, let that promise stand over their life with fresh power. Let this move be marked by peace. Let this transition be guarded by grace. Let this house be covered by your hand. I pray that when they see the place you have for them, their spirit will recognize it. Let there be clarity. Let there be holy confidence. Let there be deep confirmation that silences every inner argument and every external doubt. And Lord, I pray not only for a house, but for what that house represents. Let it be a place of healing. Let it be a place of rest. Let it be a place where their nervous heart finally calms down, where their mind can breathe, where joy can return, where prayer can rise without heaviness, and where they can sleep without carrying the same old dread into the night. Let every room hold peace. Let every window open to mercy. Let every wall testify that you are still a God who shelters his stories, provides, and keeps your word. And Father, for everything they have suffered before this moment, or redeem it. Redeem the delay, redeem the heartbreak, redeem the confusion. Let June become the month they remember as the turning point, the moment your promise stepped out of the unseen and into their hands. I declare over them that they will not miss what you have prepared. They will not be too late for what you have ordained. They will not be disqualified by what they have been through. What you have spoken will stand. What you have prepared will open. What you have appointed will come to pass. In Jesus' mighty name, amen. Through the link in the description or the pinned comment, plant a seed into this mission. Not because you owe anything, but because someone else is standing right now where you were when you first found a message like this one. Desperate, tired, wondering if God still sees them. Your seed becomes the word that finds them. Your obedience becomes their confirmation. Your letting go becomes the thing heaven uses to move on doors you have not even prayed about yet. A coffee, a one-time gift, a monthly commitment to this mission. Whatever is in your hand, release it. And as you do, tell God one thing, not a list. The one door, the one thing. Place it inside your seed and trust that the God who just prayed over you is already moving on that too. Your house in June is not a wish. It is a word from heaven, and it will not return void. And if this message spoke to you, like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to be reminded that God still opens doors no man can shut.